Thanks to Ethos Life for sponsoring today's video. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. We are in the process of giving our backyard a makeover. We're making tons of improvements to the backyard, and one of those small improvements is adding gutters. My dad was in town a few weeks ago and helped us install gutters above our new deck and along the back side of the house. We just have one little section left here above the garage, so I'm going to walk you through how to install your own gutters. The first thing you'll want to do is measure the section where you need gutters so you know how much material to pick up. We are working with a small 12-foot section. Let's go over the materials and tools that I'm using for the project. You can find everything mentioned in the description below. For this 12-foot section, I'm using one piece of 5" by 10 feet white aluminum gutter. We had a 4-foot section left over from doing the gutters above the deck, which worked out great, so I didn't have to buy another 10-foot section. Next to that, I have a 3" by 4" by 10-foot white aluminum downspout. I'll be using 3 of these 3" by 4" white aluminum downspout B elbows. Depending on how you situate the downspout, you'll need either the A elbows or B elbows. Next are these 5" white aluminum seamers to connect the seam of my 10-foot section and 2-foot section to get the full 12-foot coverage. These are the left and right end caps. This is the 5" white aluminum K-style gutter end with 2" by 3" drop outlet. You can either use this or make your own by cutting a hole in your gutters, which is what I'm going to do. I'm making my own so that I can avoid the additional seams. This is the 3" by 4" aluminum downspout outlet, which you will attach your downspout to. I have 2 of these 3" by 4" by 15" white aluminum downspout extensions. One will attach the elbows at the top of the downspouts, and one will be used at the very bottom of the downspout to divert water away from the house. These are the downspout clips, which will secure the downspout to the house. I have a few tubes of this Seamer Mate gutter seal. This small tube came in a pack with 2 of the aluminum seamers. To secure the gutters to the house, you could use these 5" hidden hangers with screws, which clip into your gutters, or you can use these screw and ferrules. To secure your attachments, you can use these 1/8" rivets if you own a rivet gun, or you can use these number 8 1/2" gutter screws. I've got a caulk gun for the Seamer Mate, my impact driver, and these aviation snips. I found all of my gutter supplies at Home Depot. Always buy extra material because you can always return what you don't use. Step 1 is to measure and cut your gutters. I already measured and know that I'll need to assemble 12 feet of gutters, so I've got my 10-foot section, and then I'm going to cut 2 feet from this scrap piece. Gutters typically come in 10-foot and 16-foot lengths, so keep that in mind when planning for materials. I used my snips to cut the gutters down to size. There's a few different ways you can cut your aluminum. An angle grinder is probably the best option for cutting if you have one. Otherwise, these snips are a cheap option that will do the trick. Now that the gutters are cut to size, we can assemble them. I started by installing the end caps. I put a good amount of Seamer Mate on the end caps, pressed them onto the gutters, and then used pliers to crimp the edges tight to the gutter. A crimping tool would work better here, but I'm just trying to work with the tools that I have. I wiped off any Seamer Mate that squeezed out. On the inside of the gutter, I added some more Seamer Mate and spread it around with a scrap piece of cardboard just to make sure there are no holes for the water to leak through. I followed the same step for the other end cap. Before we move on to the next step, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Ethos. Ethos makes buying life insurance super easy. Life insurance is one of those topics that people don't always discuss. Death is a sensitive topic, but knowing your options and being prepared for worst case scenarios is always smart. Life insurance is a non-negotiable for us. With my husband in the military and the dangers of his job, it's especially important. My job isn't the safest either, climbing on ladders and using dangerous equipment, but we have peace of mind knowing that each of us will be protected in case anything happens. Traditionally, life insurance has been confusing, expensive, and time-consuming. Ethos, on the other hand, focuses on creating a seamless customer experience. Working with Ethos is fast. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and in most cases, get coverage in the same day. It's easy, it's 100% online, and no medical exams are required. You just need to answer a few health questions. 10 minutes could protect your family for as little as $10 a month. If you're interested in learning more about Ethos, or you'd like to get your free life insurance quote, see my link in the description below. To secure these two sections of gutters together, I'm using a seamer with a generous amount of seamer mate. After the gutters are pushed together, you can fold the tab of the seamer over the gutters and crimp it with a pliers. To secure the seamer to the gutters, I pre-drilled a few holes and secured a few of the gutter screws. I added a few screws to the back of the seamer as well. After the seamer was secured, I took some more seamer mate, applied it to the seam of the gutter, and spread that around with a scrap piece of cardboard to make sure no water could get through the seams. Before we put the gutters up, let's install the downspout outlet. I mentioned before that you can use an attachment that already has a hole for the downspout outlet, but I'm going to cut my own so that I can control exactly where the downspout comes down from the gutters. I couldn't attach a regular B elbow to the downspout outlet, so I'm using this AB downspout elbow. I marked where the outlet needs to go, drilled a few large holes, and then cut the outlet with snips. I applied seamer mate to the bottom lip of the outlet and then pressed it in place. It's easier to secure the gutter fasteners before you hang the gutters. I would have liked to use these hidden hangers. They're more secure, they'll last longer, and you won't be able to see them from the ground. These hidden hangers are supposed to clip right into this lip underneath the front of the gutter. I pried this end open, as you can see. This is where the hanger is supposed to clip in, but I wasn't able to pry the entire edge of the gutter all the way down without damaging it, so we're going to go with the old screw and ferrule. The gutter should be secured no more than 3 feet apart. I'm only working with a 12-foot section, so I'm just spacing my hangers every 3 feet. For the screw and ferrule, I set the spacer in place and then used a hammer to tap the screw in, making a hole. Then I used my impact driver to drill the screw down into place, making sure the screw goes right into the spacer or ferrule. I didn't secure it through the back side of the gutter yet because we are going to place the gutters underneath the drip edge. Once your gutters are assembled, mark out where the gutters need to be hung. Keep in mind that you want to have your gutters slope towards the downspout about a 1/2 inch per 10 feet. If you're spanning a long distance, consider using a chalk line to snap a line as your guide. Since I'm only working with 12 feet, I'm going to connect one end and then use a 4-foot level to check the slope as I go. Gutters should be placed about 3 inches below the roof line. Any higher and water could spill over the front side. We had to cut a split in each end of the drip edge in order for the gutters to be pushed up and under the drip edge. I secured my end first and then we worked our way down, making sure to keep a 1/2 inch slope. Like I mentioned, the gutters should slope about a 1/2 inch per 10 feet. For the downspout, I first secured the A-B elbow in place with a few gutter screws. Then I attached the downspout extension and B elbow. With these in place, we were able to get a measurement for the long downspout. To cut the downspout to size, we used a miter saw with a metal cutoff blade. Before installing the downspout, I attached the downspout clips to the house. I drilled some holes and then used Tapcon screws to secure the clips to the house. I wanted the gutters to run right down the fence post. I probably could have secured a few screws into the fence post, but the clips seemed pretty secure as is. Now that the clips are in place, we can install the downspout and secure it to the clips with gutter screws. I placed the last elbow with a downspout extension to divert water away from the house. Last but not least, take your hose and test the gutters to make sure you have enough slope and to ensure there are no leaks. If you do have any leaks, take your seamer mate and seal up any problem areas from the inside of the gutters. That is all on how to install your own gutters. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing for more home DIY tutorials. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.